So, what if there was a scientifically proven, basically foolproof way to make any vegetarian dish taste absolutely incredible? Well, that's the whole promise behind this book. It's a culinary guide from America's Test Kitchen that pretty much treats your kitchen like a laboratory. You've been there, right? You follow a recipe to the letter, but you still end up with a watery gratin or a bland stir-fry, or maybe a veggie burger that just completely crumbles into dust. Why does that happen? That is the exact question America's Test Kitchen is totally obsessed with answering. And their solution? It's simple, but it's also kind of radical. Treat cooking like a science. You know, your love for spicy food? That's subjective. But the absolute perfect way to saute an onion? Turns out that's an objective scientific fact, and they are on a mission to discover it. What that actually means is they accept nothing at face value. Every single piece of conventional kitchen wisdom, every technique you've ever heard, every assumption, they just throw it all out and test everything from scratch. Their process is incredibly methodical. You can think of it like a clinical trial, but for a recipe. By changing just one single variable at a time, a little more salt here, a different type of oil there, and then using blind taste tests, they remove all the guesswork and bias. They just isolate the single best method, period. Just let that sink in for a second. A team of over 50 professionals in this massive 60,000 square foot facility, all dedicated to one mission, refining recipes until they are absolutely perfect. I mean, the scale of this operation is just incredible. And this right here, this is their core promise. They're the ones who go through all the frustration, all the failed attempts, and all the wasted ingredients for you. So what's the result? When you step into your kitchen, you get to cook with total confidence. Okay, so with that whole scientific foundation, how does the book actually make you a better cook? Well, it doesn't just throw a bunch of recipes at you. First, it helps you build what they call the Essential Vegetarian Toolkit. And they break this toolkit down into two really key parts. First, you've got the ingredients that build that deep, savory flavor, which, let's be honest, is so crucial in vegetarian cooking. And second, you've got the essential equipment that just streamlines the whole process, making cooking way more efficient and, fun. And look, understanding why these specific ingredients are so essential is the real key. Things like dried mushrooms and soy sauce aren't just for flavor, they are umami powerhouses that create this meaty depth. A little bit of tomato paste adds complexity, while a splash of citrus at the very end just brightens everything up. These are the real building blocks of great vegetarian cooking. All right, so with that foundation in place, the book unleashes the brilliance. We're talking about the delicious, tested, and totally perfected results of all that scientific work. And the scope here is just massive. We're talking over 700 recipes. That covers everything from hearty main dishes and comfort food classics to global cuisine and simple sides. It's the whole shebang. They tackle the classics head on. Take their ultimate veggie burger. It's honestly a masterpiece because they figured out the science behind it. Lentils provide that bite, mushrooms deliver the savory umami, and then ground cashews add the necessary fat for a juicy texture that most veggie burgers are seriously lacking. Or check out their mushroom bolognese. Through all that testing, they discovered that a combination of dried and fresh mushrooms plus a little tomato paste and soy sauce actually creates the same deep, savory flavor compounds that you find in a traditional meat-based sauce. It's literally flavor science in action. But hey, it's not just comfort food. This book takes you on a global tour with dishes like these amazing Vietnamese-style crepes. They're packed with savory flavor from scallions and turmeric and served with these incredible dipping sauces. And then you've got recipes like this Thai red curry that show how they balance all these complex flavors. It's just this harmonious blend of cauliflower simmered in rich coconut milk and a fragrant curry paste, all of it perfected in their test kitchen. And you know what? The cookbook is incredibly practical. Of those 700 plus recipes, a huge portion of them can be adapted for vegan or gluten-free diets. Even better, over 300 of them can be on the table in 45 minutes or less. This is a book that's designed for how people actually cook in the real world. Now, the book isn't dogmatic, it's realistic. For instance, while they give you the scientifically best recipe for a homemade broth, they also admit that for a busy home cook, a high-quality store-bought version is a totally valid shortcut. It's about applying the science to your actual life. So ultimately, this cookbook encourages you to see your kitchen in a whole new light. It's not just a place where you follow instructions, it's your own personal laboratory for experimentation. And this book is your guide. At the end of the day, their goal isn't just to give you a single great recipe. It's to teach you the fundamental principles behind that recipe so you understand why it works. That way, you become a better, more intuitive cook overall. And that really leaves us with a final thought. Whether it's understanding the power of umami, the science of a perfect sear, or the balance of acidity, what fundamental principle are you now inspired to go and test out in your own kitchen?